Automotive.
Yes,
yeah.
so this is Sergeant Hartnett from, did I get that right?
You got it right,
okay,
yes.
From the city of Hyattsville, and he has some cool information here to tell us here. The police car and the police motorcycle. So give us a little bit about the backstory of the Chevy Bolt.
So this is the first Chevrolet Bolt in the country converted into a police car. It's a 2017 Bolt. It's now been on the road for about 2 years. Been doing great as a patrol vehicle. And we obtained this car, excuse me, through a grant from the Maryland Energy Administration, along with the 2017 Zero electric motorcycle that you see over there. That's also a police motorcycle, fully electric, just like the car.
Right.
The car is rated at 238 miles, but in the summertime I often get close to 300.
Wow.
So plenty of range for patrolling a medium-sized city. Typically our gasoline patrol cars do about 40 to 50 miles on a patrol shift. So obviously the electric car has no problem covering that. We could do probably 2 or 3 shifts without charging the car.
Right.
Anyhow, the motorcycle does about 141 miles on a charge, and once again, our city's about 4 square miles big, so no problem with covering any of that.
So the first time I met you was in Hyattsville, I would say 2016 or so.
Probably 2017.
2017, when you did your first National Drive Electric Week right at the police station.
Yeah, actually, we sure did.
That's right. When I first met you, you said you sneak up on the criminals.
That's true. As you know, being an EV owner yourself, it's completely quiet.
Right.
Actually, you're quite right about that. I have a chart over there on the front of the car that shows the cost comparison between operating a 2017 Ford Explorer police vehicle and the 2017 electric car, and it's about a quarter of what we pay for gasoline.
Wow.
The daily average cost figuring about 100 miles a day, which is not only patrolling the street, but taking the car back and forth home, because we take our cars home.
Right.
Using that 100 miles a day as an example, the gas-powered car is about $16.22 worth of gas. The electric car is $3.
Wow.
So it's a huge difference. Not to mention, all the other things, no oil changes, no emissions testing,
right.
no spark plugs, no belts, all those things that are typically getting maintenance done all the time on the gas cars.
Right.
The electric car hasn't been in the shop one time since we had it, other than to get a tire rotation. We do that about every 7,500 miles, which is recommended by Chevy.
Right.
But other than that, it's been pretty much cost-free.
Right. Now, the second time I saw you was in D.C. at the National Drive Electric Week. But you had a Bmw I3, right?
My very first, before we had this, my very first electric car was a Bmw i3. They called the Rex model, which was the range extended model.
Right.
Loved the car. It was my girlfriend and I, was our first foray into electric cars.
Right.
We were completely sold after that.
Right.
We had that car for about 3 years. It was a lease. We now have a Chevy Bolt, very similar to the police car. In fact, same model, just obviously without the lights and siren. But that's how committed we are. So we're now on our third electric car.
Good.
And we're EV Angelus, as they say, because we're really totally committed to electric cars.
Okay, so let's go over and just take a quick look at
sure.
the car, please. Car. I guess this is the most famous and popular car in Hyattsville, and probably on the East Coast of the United States as well. Actually, probably all over the United States, because you are a trendsetter with this vehicle.
It certainly has gained a lot of attention, both on television and the print media, including General Motors. General Motors has been in contact with us several times about it. They're very interested in how it's been working out.
Wow.
To help assist them in their future with electric vehicles, and the possibility of there being specialty vehicles built that are all electric, such as police cars.
Okay, so let's take a quick look at it right now.
This is going to be dinging when I open
That's
it.
fine. That's fine.
So you can see that we've added a lot of aftermarket equipment. It's got the police computer. It's got
I love aftermarket stuff.
It's got the emergency lights and siren, two-way radios, lights. As you can see, there's emergency lights all over the place.
Right.
Our upfitter that does our gas cars really did a nice job. This was their first electric car, and they really did a nice job. If you just kind of walk around the car, you'll see that there's a light here it's red and blue now, but if I turn on what we call alley lights, which are white lights on the light bar that lights up, this turns white with it.
Okay.
So it gives you a lot more white light. You see, of course, the light bar up there that's not only has the flashing lights, but it has what we call takedowns. That's the white lights on the front for when we make a traffic stop. It kind of lights up the road in front of us.
Okay.
It has the alley lights. It has the alley lights here. Back here, these are called intersection lights. So oftentimes when you're on the way to call, people come in the other direction, don't see the light bar because they're only seeing this side of it.
Yes.
So these two lights flash to let people know that we're crossing the intersection so we don't get hit. 'Cause that's the
Gotcha.
most common accident in emergency vehicles.
Oh, being T-bone.
Yeah, T-bone, exactly.
Wow.
So looking in the back here, This is not something we normally do on our police cars, but this is the aftermarket equipment that runs all those things you see, the lights, the siren, the radios, etc. There was really no trunk in this car to put that, so they took the space down here that is normally just a storage space, and they mounted the equipment down there, and then they put this glass cover over it and lit it up because they knew it was going to be asked about a lot.
Right.
Actually, there's more than you see there. If you lift this up, you see there's even more equipment down there.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so they didn't want to make the window too big, I guess.
Is that lights, horns, sirens, and stuff like that too as well?
Yeah, so for example, this box right here, that box controls the siren and the lighting.
Right.
So it's all comes, that's just up front, there's just a small, looks like a TV remote control.
Right.
And that's actually connecting to this device, and this thing is actually turning the power on. There's also two-way radios. There's one here and one on the other side.
Okay.
And then there's, of course, auxiliary fuse block. And we have something pretty unique in this car that we do in all our police cars. It's called Charge Guard.
Okay.
And what Charge Guard does is it monitors the status of the vehicle's ignition.
Okay.
So you can set the timer on it to anywhere from 0 to 15 hours. And what it does is it interrupts all the aftermarket equipment after a certain amount of time.
Okay.
So to keep us from killing the small 12-volt battery in this car, because it's got a very small 12-volt battery, it's set for 30 minutes. So when this car goes off, because this will go off automatically in about 90 minutes, if nobody's touching it, I mean. The emergency equipment will continue to run for another 30 minutes. When that 30 minutes hits, it will kill all the power to all the aftermarket equipment so we don't run that 12-volt battery down. And of course, that's settable. You can see it right here. It's the yellow box. It says Charge Guard.
Yeah, I see that.
So, and we put it on our gas-powered cars too, because the problem is those computers, they use inverters, and they really draw a lot of current off the battery. They're 19-volt, 12 to 19-volt inverters.
Right.
So when officers are on the scene of an incident, and they're inside the house or they're somewhere away from the car, all that equipment's still running, and it's running the car battery down.
Right.
So we have that Charge Guard on there to protect the battery from being run down prematurely.
Okay.
Obviously, these signs aren't normally laying here. I just kind of put them here so people can see the various methods of charging electric cars.
All right, let's move over to the motorcycle.
So unlike the car, which this is actually a civilian model car, we just took it and converted it to a police car. It's not an actual, purpose-built car. They're not making those yet. Right. On the other hand, this is purpose-built. This is made by Zero Motorcycles in California. Their whole business is electric motorcycles. They don't build anything else.
Right.
And of course, they build civilian bikes and sport bikes, but this one's made specifically for police work. So when we bought it, it came pretty much as you see, without our name, of course, on the side of it. But it comes, the police model comes with the saddlebags, the trunk in the back, the siren and PA system, the lighting equipment, the windshield. All of those things are not normally on their civilian bikes.
I see.
So it is a purpose-built vehicle.
Okay.
Like the car.
Now, one last question. So, I work at the Capitol, the United States Capitol.
Yes.
not in Annapolis. So I go to a lot of these car shows because I'm part of the fleet manager and personal property manager. Ford has stopped making the police car. And one of the biggest complaints was because you guys wear all your stuff, it's tough to get in and out of the seat.
Yeah.
How is this serving for you?
I mean, honestly, that's a very good point, and it is tight in there. I'm not going to lie to you. The car's pretty small. When I'm wearing my full uniform with the gun belt, the leather belt, with the big holster and the radio and all the other things that we wear on our belts, it's a little cramped. But then again, I can't blame the car because the car was not built for that purpose.
I see.
Our purpose-built police cars, the seats are actually, there's a cup-like area cut out of the seats for all the stuff that we carry. This was not built for that purpose. However, one of the goals of turning this car into a police car was to get the attention of the big manufacturers such as General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford, and say, look, we think there's a market for electric cars, and we're showing you that we were able to do this. Now, build one that's more conforming to what we're doing.
Right.
So put in those wider seats.
They may
and a wider
retrofit that. Yes, I got you.
I don't know that they could make this one much bigger, but now knowing that it will work, they can work towards building a bigger vehicle.
Right. So you're the trendsetter. You have set the standard. I mean, you're the man. You're the man. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Great job, man. You have been an EV supporter ever since I've been knowing you, and probably even before that. But you come out to all the events, and this is the first time we actually had a chance to sit down and do an interview. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Anything we can do to get the word out, to show people that there is a place for electric cars, and as you can see, every manufacturer now is getting on board. So what was just an anomaly 10 or 15 years ago is going to be mainstream before you know it.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right.